Bill O'Reilly here, Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening today in America. President Biden travels to Europe. New York City's unemployment rate, the highest in the nation. Disney workers walk off the job over gay rights. Gas prices smash records in Southern California. Also, how illegal narcotics are harming every American. But first, President Biden arriving in Belgium to meet with Western allies. The president holding talks with leaders of NATO, the G7, European Union to counter Putin's invasion of Ukraine. New sanctions are expected. Mr. Biden then travels to Poland on Friday. The White House will unveil another strategy to stop Putin. U.S. intel agencies believe the conflict in Eastern Europe has killed at least 15,000 people in the last 4 weeks. The unemployment rate in New York City rising to 8%, the highest for any major city and double the national average. By comparison, Miami unemployment, 3%. Boston, 4%. Chicago, 5%. Again, New York City, 8%. The Chamber of Commerce blames the situation in the Big Apple on COVID and high crime. Just 50% of employees have returned to the workplace in New York City since the shutdown in April 2020. Group of Disney employees in Florida staging walkouts this week demanding the House of Mouse do something to protect LGBT rights. Workers say the company took too long to condemn Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill, which bans schools from teaching gender identity to children between the ages of 5 and 7. Woke Disney executives are encouraging the walkout. There will be a backlash, I believe, against the Disney Corporation. Los Angeles, the first city in America where average gas prices top $6 a gallon. Some stations in LA and Orange County to the south charging $7.50 a gallon. California lawmakers are considering a $400 tax rebate for people who commute to work by car. That would be pretty much everybody. Others want to suspend the state's gas tax, which is a whopping $1.20 a gallon in California. In a moment, drugs are destroying our society. Right back. Supply chain issues have been a catalyst to bring high-tech manufacturing back to the USA. My tech guy, the founder of Brownstone Research, calls it the Great Recalibration and discusses it in his new newsletter, Near Future Report. For 35 years, Jeff Brown has helped his subscribers safely navigate volatile times to preserve and grow wealth. He also answers your most pressing questions like how to protect your retirement from inflation. What are the implications of a new digital currency and the Great Reset? What will the Fed do with interest rates? And what's going to happen in the stock market this year? Brownstone Research has been at the forefront of major market moves for 35 years. Let Jeff help you by signing up for his newsletter today at a 75% discount, a 12-month subscription, only $49. So please go to jeffbrowntech.com. jeffbrowntech.com, jeffbrowntech.com. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day, how illegal narcotics hurt America. First, the stats from the National Institutes of Health and the Centers for Disease Control. More than 1 million Americans have died from drug overdoses since 1999. 1 million. 100,000 plus deaths occurred last year. 1 in 5 children grow up with a parent who has a substance problem. 80% of all child abuse cases in the USA involve alcohol or drug use. Children of addicted parents are 3 times more likely to be neglected, physically or sexually abused. The divorce rate among addicted parents, 3 times the national average. So you can see the carnage that drug use causes. Want more? Here we go. The Department of Labor reports 65% of on-the-job accidents drug or alcohol related. Addiction causes $250 billion in lost productivity. Half of all unemployed men in America are addicted to opioids. Half. 70% of the homeless are addicted to drugs or alcohol. 70%. Now, some say addiction is a disease, so addicts should not be held responsible for that disease. But let's look at history. When the communists took over China after World War II, about a quarter of the population in China was addicted to opium. Did you know that? It was a huge opium problem in mainland China. So the communist dictator Mao Zedong ordered drug addicts shot. The disease quickly disappeared in China. In Singapore, the fascist government there forces drug addicts into confined rehabilitation centers. Presto, the drug marketplace in Singapore has vanished. If you want narcotics, you have to drive across a bridge to Malaysia, where the pushers are lined up waiting for you. How do I know? I did it. I wrote my thesis at the Kennedy School at Harvard on this very subject. Back in the USA, we do not have a coherent drug policy, and many addicts are doing grave harm to our society. It's largely secret inside the home, where all of these children, millions of them, are being abused by drug-addicted people. And you see it on the streets in the homeless camps, and 70% of street crime is caused by drug-addicted people. Here in America, there should be mandatory drug rehabilitation. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. If you would like more honest and smart news analysis, please visit BillO'Reilly.com, where you can see me on TV each night. In a moment, something you might not know. Hey, investors, listen up. Inflation and rate increases are forecasted, which will potentially stall stock market gains. But the experts say apartment building values and rent increases are up. Almost 6.8 million homes are needed in this country right now. You have heard me tell you about Nria. They are building rental and condominium properties in high-demand, low-supply markets right now. I personally visited one myself in Florida. Their 15-year track record has been delivering competitive returns for investors. So, you might consider investing in a solid foundation and give them a call. 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414, or check them out at nria.net.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. On this day in 1983, President Ronald Reagan delivered a primetime address to the American public. He called on the Pentagon to, quote, develop technologies to make nuclear weapons impotent and obsolete, unquote. The new program was called SDI, or the Strategic Defense Initiative, well known as Star Wars. Here is the story behind America's race to weaponize space. After his election in 1980, Mr. Reagan believed the key to defeating the Soviet Union was to neutralize their massive nuclear arsenal. The Star Wars program created a system of space-based satellites capable of destroying intercontinental missiles in mid-flight. The satellites used lasers to take down rockets as they flew towards their targets. Over the course of 10 years, the government spent more than $30 billion on developing the concept. Supporters claim Star Wars could provide permanent protection from nuke attacks. Critics say the system barely worked. Early tests show that just 20% of incoming missiles could be destroyed by the Star Wars lasers. The program was scrapped by President Clinton in 1993. Nearly 40 years after Reagan announced Star Wars, many still ask, did it work? Was all that taxpayer money wasted? Right now, there's just one aspect of the program still operating, the Missile Defense Agency. The MDA works to defend North America from ballistic missiles and other airborne threats. It deploys top-secret technology like lasers and sound waves to neutralize incoming warheads. The agency has 3,000 full-time employees now, another 5,000 part-time, and maintains an annual budget of $9 billion. And here's something else you might not know. Until a few months ago, the Missile Defense Agency focused on 3 foreign threats: North Korea, China, Iran. But just 3 weeks ago, the group added another country to the list, Russia. The group is now monitoring a potential threat from Putin should the dictator decide to escalate his war in Ukraine. Back after this. Russia's invasion is a type of chaos that can put American homeowners at risk of being hacked. You'll get scams like robocalls, texts for fake donations, emails with unfamiliar attachments. We know these scams, but there's a bigger one that's harder to stop, and it could cost you your home. It is called home title fraud, and it happens when a hacker finds the title to your home online. Then he forges your signature, removes you from your home's title. Then he can take out loans on your home and leave you in debt. What makes home title fraud so devastating is you may not even know you've been hacked until it's too late. You can go to your county recorder's office and check to make sure your home is still in your name, or you can simply visit HomeTitleLock.com. Please go to HomeTitleLock.com. That's HomeTitleLock.com. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.